There's a story in the Old Testament when the Israelites were in the wilderness. They had just got out of Egypt. They were in the wilderness, and as usual, which was like their pattern, they started grumbling and murmuring. And when they were grumbling and murmuring, fiery serpents came into their tent. And what do serpents do? They're not good pets, they start biting. So when fiery serpents came inside, they started biting. And these people came to Moses and said, hey, help us out, do something. And this is the instruction that Moses got from the Lord, to build a bronze serpent. To build a bronze serpent. And the instruction was, whoever would see the bronze serpent, they would be healed. Now, first of all, bronze serpent doesn't make sense. If it was a dove, I get it. If it was, a better animal, I get it. But a bronze serpent, the same serpent that was biting them, was the same symbol that had to be erected, and these people had to see the bronze serpent. In fact, Jesus in John chapter 3, when he is talking to Nicodemus, he tells him, just like the bronze serpent was lifted in the wilderness by Moses, will the Son of Man be lifted up? Meaning, when that bronze serpent was lifted, that was typifying Jesus. Jesus, he who knew no sin, became sin, the bronze serpent. So that when we see the bronze serpent, we become healed. We become healed. There's something powerful about meditating on the cross, on what Jesus has done, on what Jesus has gone through, that we begin to find our healing. Here's the thing. Have you ever woke up in the middle of the night and without switching on the lights, you try walking and then you hit your small toe somewhere at the edge of the bed? Right? Have you had that experience? It's lovely, right? When the pain strikes you, immediately your consciousness is on that pain. Till then, you were not even aware that you had a little toe. Right? None of us were aware. But the moment pain strikes a body, that body member comes onto spotlight. Isn't that true? Because pain brings that into spotlight. Now think about this. When these fiery serpents, they came inside the tent of the Israelites and they're being bitten, the instruction is, don't put your consciousness there, put your consciousness on the bronze serpent. How do you do that? The instruction was for those who were bitten. That means the biting has already happened. It's paining. So if you need to be healed from the snake's biting, what should you do? Look at the serpent. Your entire consciousness is on the pain. You're walking like this, but the instruction is, if you see the bronze serpent, you shall be healed. There's something about moving your consciousness from pain and to see that pain put upon Jesus. And it's in that movement of that consciousness that you begin to find healing. That's why Isaiah says he was beaten, he was bruised, he was crushed, so that in his wounds we are healed. When your little toe gets hurt, if you can see, if you can move your consciousness that Jesus was hurt, Jesus was hurt, his fingers was pierced, his hands were pierced, his nails went through his feet, and his side was pierced, he was crushed, he was beaten, he was lashed. When you meditate on that, something happens to your body. Your body begins to heal. You know why? Because you're basically declaring that whatever pain I am going through has already been taken care of on the cross. This is completely illegal. It cannot happen to me again. Have you heard of the term double jeopardy? Double jeopardy is if someone has already been condemned for a criminal act, he can be condemned for the same act. Meaning, if Jeremy was caught for something and he was punished for 5 years of jail, he can't be punished for that same crime again, because he's been punished already. Just like that. The consequence of sin that we had to take, we no longer had to take, because Christ has done upon himself. It's double jeopardy. So every time you meditate on the cross, on what Jesus has done, what you're doing is, this sickness is illegal, because Jesus has already died on my behalf. This has already happened. Amen. Last week, Betty was sharing this testimony with me, that in the night she was having immense back pain. And women, this is for you if you're having immense back pain. She was having immense back pain in the night, and she started meditating how Jesus was whipped. How Jesus was, there were stripes on his back because of those whips. And those whips were not, they were not pretty looking. They had thorns and balls at the end. It was painful. It would by every whip, the flesh was being torn. So she was meditating, I'm having this back pain, but she was meditating, on by his stripes we are healed. And she was meditating how Jesus was whipped every single time. And she said to me in the morning that as she was meditating, immediately the pain left. Immediately. I'm telling you, there's something about when you move your consciousness, oh, I am this, I am a sinner, I am going through this, I have this sickness, I have this pain. When you move your consciousness from what is happening within you, and you look at Jesus, and you see Jesus suffering that same pain, suffering that same ordeal that you are going through, your body begins to restore, begins to heal. Amen.